Curves, Chalk and Chucks.
Welcome back to episode 5 of Curves, Chalk, and Chucks podcast. Excited to have y'all. My name is Charlie Butler. I'm here with Charlie Mathis, and let's just get into it. We have a lot to talk about today.
Hey everybody, it's good to be here. Yeah, it's been a bit since we've recorded. It's been maybe a week and a half. So basically, the rest of the off season happened. Right, we got a lot of material to get into. The first thing I've got on my list is Kyle Tucker, right? Because he was the biggest signing. He was kind of the catalyst that started everything. Well, Alex Bregman was the catalyst, but we talked about him last week. What are your thoughts on the Kyle Tucker signing, Chuck? We've got $60 million per year, 4 years. That's $240 million. I mean, come on.
What a crazy contract. Like, this is just unreal to me. How long was it? Was it 4 years? It's not
Yep.
long. Yeah, it's 4 years. You're paying the dude $60 million a year. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but like, that's a lot of money to give to this guy. And most of it's deferred. You know, Kyle Tucker's a great hitter. I think that this is a great signing for the Dodgers. You know, they have such a good team, the best roster in baseball. And now they add Kyle Tucker. It's almost like it was like under the radar too, you know? I thought Mets were in on him. I thought Toronto was in on him. But then out of nowhere, I was like, I knew that they were kind of sneaky in there, but I didn't know that it was $60 million a year for 4 years sneaky. But nah, I mean, it's gonna raise some issues with the whole salary cap and all that.
Yeah, there are some people, and I'm glad you said, that you're not saying he doesn't deserve it, because there are some people out here who are saying that he doesn't deserve this money. Like, to that I say, I don't know. Look at the stats. I mean, I'm just looking. In his age 24 season, he put up 5.3 WAR, then 5.5, 5.5, 4.7 in 78 games, 4.6 in 130 games. I think that Kyle Tucker is one of the most consistent bats who is on the market, right? I think he's more consistent than Cody Bellinger for sure. I think he's more consistent than Alex Bregman. I think, look, it's been since 2020's shortened season that he has hit less than 20 home runs. And he's a Gold Glover. I think he deserves this money for sure, right? I do want to touch on, there are some people saying that maybe, why didn't he sign a longer contract, right? $60 million a year is crazy, and $240 million is a lot of money, but it's like he probably could have gotten more, maybe not as high of an AAV, but he probably could have gotten more. And people are saying, oh, maybe he doesn't like baseball is what I've actually heard, is that, maybe he doesn't love baseball, and, he's 28 right now. Maybe at 32, he'll just be done, man. And while I do think that's something you could touch on, I also think you have to think of this from a business perspective, right? The CBA, is up for renewal in 2027, and so who knows what salary contracts are going to look like at that point. And so I think you could criticize him on that, but I think you got to wait it out and see at the end of the contract. I don't think you'll be able to tell, because if you put that kind of money in front of anyone, I think they'd jump at it. I mean, that's a crazy high AAV, and so I think that is probably the bigger decision maker in him going for a 4-year deal instead of the 10-year deals that were on the table. I know the Blue Jays had a 10-year deal on the table, so.
No, yeah, I don't see him being an Anthony Rendon 2.0. Like, I don't think this hates baseball. I mean, if he hated baseball, why would he be putting up these type of stats? I mean, he's been raking. I am kind of amazed that he didn't go for a longer contract. Like, as you said, it's like you're in the time to sign that longer contract, get secured until you can retire. So, I mean, this will be up whenever he's 32. And it's like, how much money are you going to get after your age 32 season? Who's going to want to sign a guy for 8 years after that and get him till he's 40 and decrepit and not hitting like he used to? I don't know. I mean, if I had $60 million a year, sitting in front of me, I'd probably take it too. I don't blame the guy. But it's just kind of weird that the longer contract didn't work out, especially with I don't know, Blue Jays. I'm curious to know if the Blue Jays offer, or if any other team their offer is out there. I'm pretty sure I saw it once or twice, but I'm not completely I don't know details of it.
So the Blue Jays offer was 10 years, $350 million. So it'd be $35 million a year. Honestly, I mean, if you look at, right, because contracts in baseball are, you can't escape them. You can have opt-outs and whatnot, but generally speaking, if you sign a contract like that, that is guaranteed money. And so yes, the money value of the $350 million contract was more, but in 4 years, he's gonna get 140 million, right?
Mhm.
And so, and the other thing you have to take into account is that there are opt-outs in his contract. And so a lot of guys, like for instance, this is the contract that Bregman signed with the Red Sox last offseason, was if you have an opt-out, right, and you have an amazing year in just one of those years, then you can opt out of your contract and sign one for a higher AAV. So I think that's possible we see him do that. I think he has an opt-out in the last year of his contract. I could see him, if he continues to put up these numbers, once he's only got 60 million more dollars, I could see him opt out at the age 31 season, and then he's not really, I feel like that turn is bigger than people think.
Mhm.
I think if you're heading to another free agency at 31, you could still command some money. You could still command another 5-year contract. So I think you have to look at it from, this was just a smart business decision for Tucker, and on the Dodgers being the team to do it, right? I don't want to say that I'm a skeptic. I can see how people could say it would be bad for baseball, but I also think, like, I mean, I think there are a lot of teams that could offer maybe not exactly this much money, but offer something close to it. And LA is an attractive place to go, man. There's not as much pressure because there's so many superstars there. So I don't know. I also like this landing spot for LA, because if there was one place they needed help, it was in the outfield. And I'm not criticizing the lineup by any means, but he can give Andy Pages and Teoscar Hernandez some help, right? I think I don't hate. I think there are a lot of people that could use a corner outfielder, but I honestly don't hate this landing spot for him either.
I think he's ready to win. He had that success early in his career with Houston.
Hmm.
He won the 2022 World Series, and I think he's kind of back to that. I think he wants to be on a winning roster again. Not saying that the Cubs weren't a winning roster, but I mean they obviously aren't the Dodgers. And yeah, he's gonna have a lot of success there. I'm kind of excited to see what he's gonna do. He's been one of my favorite players for since he was on the Astros, even because I mean he was like right after the whole cheating stuff, so he kind of got a pass
Hmm.
on that. But yeah, no, I'm excited for him. I don't really like what it might do to baseball. I think it's going to raise a lot more conversations about salary caps and all that is going to lead to a lockout. At the same time, it's like I'm going to see one of the best hitters in baseball go play for the best team in baseball and go compete and have a great time, hopefully, and then he's going to go make more money. So, you know, it's like a win lose. Who knows? I think it's a good contract for the Dodgers and for Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, and I think a lockout is bound to happen.
Yeah.
But what I will say is that I don't think we'll miss any baseball games, because I think baseball's in a place right now where you've got teams that are just like rolling in the dough, right? I think baseball's in a good spot. I think a lot of people are watching it. I think especially, I mean, I was a skeptic to the rule changes, the pitch clock,
Yeah.
the base size changing. I was a skeptic, but I gotta say, I think it's been great for the game.
Mhm.
I think more people are watching baseball. I think people like it more. I think there are shades of gray to that. Like I think
Yeah.
it's done other things too that could be bad. But I will say, I think because baseball's in such a good state, the owners don't want to lock out, and the players never want. I mean, no one wants to miss
Yeah,
games,
nobody.
but I think they will reach. I think they will reach an agreement before it comes to missing games, because it's been. I mean, how long has it been since we've missed baseball games due to a lockout? I mean, it's been at least probably 20 years, right?
Yeah, I'm looking it up. Last time it'll be a
Yeah,
lockout. A while ago. I mean there was one in 2021, 2022, but that wasn't
yeah.
really. It was 99 days and it didn't affect any games. I like the last time that we like missed baseball because of a lockout was forever ago. So I don't know. I think there's going to be another 2021, 2022 lockout where it'll be done pretty quickly, like 99 days. I mean, 1994 to 95 was the strike that delayed the start of the season. So
Hmm.
No, I think it's gonna be good for the game. Like you said, all these rule changes. At the end of the day, it's only gonna help. So, bring it on, get it over with. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I don't think we'll miss any games. The next thing I've got on the sheet is we go to Cody Bellinger. I think that Kyle Tucker had to happen before Bellinger
Oh,
because
yeah.
I think it tells us, what kind of money Bellinger's going to put on the table.
Mhm.
And I think and I'd like to talk about these two together as Bellinger and Luis Robert to
Yeah.
the Mets, right? Because I think the Yankees and the Mets were both in on Bellinger. I think you could see it coming a mile away. It's look, Bellinger's going to go to one of those teams. He's already lives in New York. Those are the
Mhm.
two teams that have got the money, right? And like the Yankees made it clear that that was their number one priority is re-signing him. And so I think when Luis Robert was traded to the Mets, it was very clear to me that the Bellinger deal would happen in the next day, and it did.
Mm.
Let's see the money. Bellinger, his contract, 5 years, $162 million. He has two
Mm.
opt-outs and a no trade clause. So that's like a Yankee for life contract right there.
Yeah. No, I think it's good. I like it. We saw a classic Scott Boras working the market here.
Hmm.
Of You said Kyle Tucker had to go first to see what kind of money. I think this is a good contract for Bellinger. I like him in New York. He's got that lefty power. He can get it over the short fence. He was a dog with him last year. He's a little inconsistent. I think that's really where like the issues stem for him, where it'll be interesting to see if he can maintain that elite status. Because his last year he was pretty legit. I mean, dude was raking for most of the year. So I hope he does good. He's a likable guy. I think that this is a good contract on both sides. He got the 5 years. He got a longer contract. He'll be playing until he's 34, and then that gives him some room to look around, see where else he can go to kind of end his career. And then he's got the two opt outs, which I think is pretty big. If he's not seeing the success he wants with the Yankees, then he could easily get out of that. He could, sign for more money. It's a win-win trade or a win-win contract. Bellinger's getting what he wants. Yankees are going to get what they want. I think the question now is like, are the Yankees going to really compete this year? And I think that's really going to affect like his opt-out years. Are the Yankees going to be as good as they should be, or are they going to kind of do what they've done the last couple seasons and make it all this way for nothing? So no, it'll be interesting to watch.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the Yankees will compete. Like, I kind of look at that as a no brainer. But what I will say is like the Yankees needed to do this. This was a deal they needed to do. They were
Mhm.
a lame duck all offseason saying, "Look, we've made our number one priority to sign Cody Bellinger." Saying this in hindsight is one thing. I wish I had said it earlier in the offseason, but like, is it enough? I mean, for
Yeah.
Yankees fans, is it enough? Are you looking at this and you're going, "Oh, I'm so excited for my team," because I'm looking
Yeah.
at the Red Sox. If I'm a Yankees fan, I'm looking at the Red Sox and the Blue Jays and I'm going, "Shit, man, like we didn't do
Right.
enough." I mean, and that sucks. Like that really sucks. That signing Cody Bellinger is not enough. But I don't know. I'm looking at him and feel like I'm looking at a third place finish. I think like I don't know, man. I'm just not really seeing it. I think they've got what Garrett Cole and Max Fried, like two of their best starting pitchers are both going to be out to start
Mhm.
the season, or maybe it's Carlos Rodon. Two of those three are injured, I believe. Maybe it's Carlos Rodon who's injured, but yeah, Carlos Rodon and Garrett Cole, and it's like Garrett Cole is a Cy
Yeah.
Young winning pitcher. I don't know. I could see them being below 500 to start off the season. I've always kind of thought Cody Bellinger is a little inconsistent, and that's been my main gripe with him. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I like the guy, but you look up, I mean, he put up a negative 1.6 WAR in 2021. Like that's not just he had a down year. That is bad,
That is
right? And then
terrible.
2 years
Yeah.
bookending that are 1.5 and 1.3, which is like you're still a good player. Are
Yeah.
you are you
You're not.
5 years 62 mil good if that's the kind of player you're going to be year in and year out?
Mhm.
Like he was for a 3-year stretch? I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, we'll get more into the whole AL East standings later, but
Mhm.
I really don't think that this Bellinger move is enough to really make them like my favorite to win the division, which we'll get more in depth on that. But that's where I'm looking at it, Bellinger wise.
Yeah. I got going next to Luis Robert. Also, kind of one of these guys that could be a little inconsistent. I'll pull up his stat sheet here, but he gets traded for Luis Angel Acuna. I got to make sure I'm pronouncing that right. Ronald Acuna's little bro.
Mm-hmm.
And I also kind of don't know what to think of this.
Yeah,
Where is it? Let's see. Luis Robert. Here we go. Or Robert. I've heard it pronounced both
Robert.
ways.
I've heard it either way.
So we saw a 5.3 WAR season in 2023. His 25-year-old season. He had 38 home runs.
Yeah,
He has
legit.
not replicated that since.
No, I think with him, he's a great fielder, and I think that that's kind of like undervalued today. I mean, this is a center fielder who's been great defensively. He only has one Gold Glove to show for it his rookie year, but I mean, you really just can't like detract from him like defensively. And we know he can put up 36 or 38 home runs a year, as like he did in his 2023 season. But no, I think this is a very good like low risk trade that Steve Cohen made. It's like you're trading Luis Angel Acuna, who wasn't great. Like he's serviceable, but he's not like he's the next. He's not going to be his brother, which kind of like sucks to say. It's a little early too. He's only 23. He's got time, but I mean, you're trading for like he's almost looking like a prospect. Like he still has time to grow, but I don't think he's there yet. And the Mets are very much so in a win now situation. Like they're here to win. Like they want to win, and I think that this is a good deal to try to win. Again, there's a lot of stuff happening in the East, both sides of the league, so it's kind of hard to talk about if they're not going into our segment later about where we're standing on those. So but right now, all I'm gonna say is that I think it's a good trade for the Mets. I think the White Sox want it too. It's a win-win trade. They both get what they need. One's a ready to win type of guy, and the one's a guy that you can develop. So good for both of them.
Yeah, for sure. And I like that call there of saying he's a good fielder. And I think like that makes it very low risk. I mean, no one's looking at Alex Bregman's contract and is like, I don't know. It's like, no, at least in some aspect, he is a proven guy,
Yeah.
at third base. Center field is another position where you're like, look, I want a guy who's an elite fielder. And there's not as many of those guys to go around as you would think. And he's not like useless at the plate either. He can nab some bases.
Mhm.
If you work with him, and if you can bring him back to that 5.3 WAR, 38 home run season, then it's the best trade ever, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I think it's a low risk, high reward trade. I look at Luis Angel Acuna. Yeah, he's just barely not a prospect. I mean, he's played in 95 games this year and 14 the year before. So yeah, I think the threshold is 100 games. I may be mistaken in that to be not a prospect. So yeah, he's played in 109. It's like, all right, this guy's still extremely young, and that hit tool is also there. So yeah, I could see it being a very good trade for both teams. I think it's a win-win. And I think it was kind of the final nail in the coffin to send Bellinger back to the Yankees. Another Mets move that we got to touch on is Bo Bichette, $126 million for 3 years, that is a big number for not that many years.
Yeah.
What do you think about that one, Chuck?
I'm not a Bo Bichette, like I'm not that big of a fan of Bo Bichette, to be honest with you. He's good, but like, is he 3 years? What did he get? 3 years, $126 million worth? I really just don't think so. Like he's fine, but he's had one season with over a 5 WAR in 2021, so that's some time now. I think him not signing a long contract is kind of interesting too. It's like you're getting a shortstop who is like kind of proven that he's a good hitter, but I mean he just doesn't walk enough at all. I think he gets on I mean, does he even get on base that much? I mean, he's got a 337 OBP. The guy hits, like he gets a lot of hits. He makes contact, which is huge. You never can hate on that. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of like iffy on if I really like this. I think for him, it's great. You know, he's making money. He's a bigger like I guess bigger market now than Toronto. Good for him. I don't think it's great for the Mets. I think they're kind of just making up for missing out on some of the other stuff. Like they lost Kyle Tucker, and it's like they need something. They need something to show that they're still buying. And Bichette was the second best there. I did like he's a good right-handed hitter. Defensively, I don't think he's that great. I mean, he's serviceable, but I mean, what you're really getting him for is that bat, and his bat, I don't think is worth what he's getting.
No, I've always been kind of down on Bo Bichette. I wrote an article about this earlier in the offseason. His walk rate is like 5%, which
Yeah.
is very it's far below average. And like look, when I played baseball, I was very much not exactly like Bo Bichette. I put the ball in play. I
Mhm.
grounded out a lot, right? But I love a guy who can put the ball in play. I think that's a great way to play baseball. But if you're gonna do that, I either want you to put the ball in play and put it over the fence, or I
Yeah.
want you to put the ball in play and take smart at bats and walk a ton,
Yeah.
or and there's a third option here, or I want you to get on base and nab some bases. I want you to steal some bags.
Mhm.
He doesn't do any of those three options. Like he's got a little bit of power, I think, like, but he'll never be more than a 20 home run guy. So I don't know. I don't think the eye is there. The defense definitely isn't there. There were reports that people no longer really see him as a shortstop.
Yeah.
Like if he's your shortstop or he's your third baseman, I'm not happy with that personally. He's not good enough at defense. I think in this league, I want guys, who are a lot better defensively than him. Like I view him as a DH. I view him as a DH. And 42 million, that's his AAV is 42 million a year.
Yeah.
Um 42, you could have gotten Cody Bellinger. Like
Mhm.
you could have had like Bellinger's contract is 32, 5 million a year. I don't know. Like I view them as two completely different players. And I know War may disagree with me there, but I think War kind of discounts defense as much as it's supposed to be a
Yeah.
metric that takes that into account. I think it does kind of discount defense. I'm not hating on Bo Bichette, but I did not see this kind of contract. I
No.
I foresaw 25 million a year at most. And great on him for proving me wrong, but we'll see if that's worth it to the Mets,
Yeah.
in 3 what is it? How many years and when it's over? 3 years?
Years, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see if it's worth it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's kind of like a free swinger. I think that's where he gets a lot of his contact. Looking at it, he swings more than like league average. He's swinging around like 51% of the time. So
Mhm.
I think that really does contribute to like how much contact he makes. I really wish he'd get more walks. He's in the 28th percentile for a walk percent. So if he can get that figured out, and maybe a change of scenery when New York is going to do that, but I don't know. It's a good contract for him. Maybe not so good for the Mets.
Yeah, and I have to apologize a little bit. He did hit 29 home runs in 2021, um, and 24 in 2022. So he does kind of have a bit of a power tool. But what I will say is like guys like him can be a little consistent, just not 2025, but in 2024, 2 years ago, he put up a negative WAR because sometimes that hit tool just isn't there. Sometimes you just swing and you miss, and it's like if that's all you have, if that's all you bring, you're not going to rack up WAR. You're not going to add value defensively. You're not going to draw walks. So I don't know. I could see this contract burning the Mets a little bit. The next
Mm,
thing I've got on my list is Ranger Suarez. We're going to stay in the East. Ranger
okay.
Suarez, 5 years, $130 million for Boston Red Sox, new number 2 starter. What do you got there, Chuck?
Him and Crochet are gonna be a real like 1-2 punch for the Red Sox
Mhm.
for a while now. I think it's great for both teams. He really kind of broke out last year. He was like really he's been good his whole career almost. He had a 5.6 WAR season in 2021, which was pretty under the radar. I don't think many people like really know about that or talk about it. but he was an all-star snub this year. He was an all-star in 2024. I mean, we know this guy can pitch. He pitched great. So the Red Sox really got a deal on him, honestly. I just am kind of questioning the Phillies now with that. Like, what are the Phillies really trying to do? Because they missed out on a lot of their guys, you know? I mean, we're going to talk about it more. But I think that this would have been a good guy to pick up. And Red Sox kind of got a steal on it. So bolsters their rotation, makes their chances to compete in the AL East a lot better, too.
Yeah, I do really like it for the Red Sox. I agree 100% though. I think the Phillies, I think if you're a Phillies fan, you're a little bummed, right, that you missed out on Ranger Suarez. I've always kind of liked Ranger Suarez. I think he's consistent. I like that out of a starter. I think there's a lot of starters. Like I'd even throw Zach Gallen up there of like or Dylan Cease up there. It's like, look, you're not super consistent, you know? And of course
Yeah,
Dylan Cease got that superstar money, but it's like
exactly.
if someone told me they'd rather have Ranger Suarez at his price than Cease at his, I'd say, yeah, that's pretty valid. You know, you're not crazy to say that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it is kind of a miss for the Phillies. They did resign JT Realmuto, which I didn't have on my sheet, but that's kind of vanilla. It's like, congratulations, you got an old catcher who's going to be a player coach. Um, that's great. That's like it'd be really dumb if you didn't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think what does that Phillies starting rotation look like now that now that Suarez is out? Zach Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez, Aaron Nola. Okay, so you know what? I take it back. I don't think they necessarily had to do this because they've also got Andrew Painter
Yeah.
and Aiden Miller as well, who are prospects that could possibly come up. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, he'd be great to have. I think you've got the money to sign him. I think that's probably the biggest
Yeah.
comment is you've got the money to sign him. Why didn't you fricking sign him? But I don't know. I don't think they'll survive. I
Yeah.
think they'll be all right.
No, yeah, their rotation is legit. I mean, rotation is insane. I mean, Wheeler and Nola. I mean, Nola, of course, wasn't that great last year, but
Hmm.
Luzardo was great. Sanchez. I don't know. I think it's just kind of like I don't know. They're just not willing to spend. It seems like they don't want to go out and compete. Like they kind of see what the Mets are doing. It's like, how can we really compete with that? So I wish that they would have if I was a Phillies fan, but I also get like why they wouldn't. Andrew Painter, as you mentioned, he's going to be coming up, and that dude's legit. You know, we're going to see a lot of him this year, hopefully. So I get why they didn't sign him, but would have been nice.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear that Aaron Nola's best days are behind him. I think at this point he's an innings eater. But I'm looking at the stats. I mean, look, in 32 games, Jesus Luzardo put up a 3.92
Mhm.
ERA. And I'm just happy if that's what I'm getting out of my third starter.
Yeah,
Um, like Christopher Sanchez has also been a guy. He
yeah,
let's see, he hasn't put up higher than a 3.5 ERA in the last 3 years. I mean, like he's a true number 2 and Zach Wheeler's a true number 1. I mean,
yeah,
like you've still got a great rotation there and I really don't hate it by any stretch. So
yeah.
I mean, I think Bryce Harper is like I think he's there and he's always going to be there until his legs fall off, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at his stats. Like I think he was a little down last year, but towards the end of the year, I think he kind of did figure it out.
Hmm.
So
No, yeah. Do we want to move on now to Nolan Arenado to the Diamondbacks for Justin
yeah,
Martinez? Yeah, that was a big
yeah,
one.
flew a bit.
Cardinal fans, and it's pretty wild to see that he's gone now.
Yeah, I'm very opinionated about this, is what I'll say first off. It flew a bit under the radar for us because it was like the day after we recorded. I think it might
Mhm.
have happened on like a Tuesday. Um, so do I have your permission, Charlie, to be very pissed?
Yeah, of course.
Do I have your
Yeah, no,
permission?
I
What
think it's
the hell are we doing?
I don't like Justin
I
Martinez.
completely
Get out of this, like that's it, and we paid them a bunch of money too.
I completely understand if you're like, look, this is a full on salary dump, right?
Yeah,
But if you're gonna dump salary, dump salary. don't
don't pay them
keep
to
don't pay $31 million of $42 million. They only have to pay him $11 million over 2 years, $5 million
exactly.
and then $6 million. Like, I think anyone would pay that money to Nolan Arenado. He's still a Gold
Hey,
Glove caliber third baseman. I mean, he made plays every day of the week that I'd be like, wow, this is still the same caliber guy. And it's like, if you are sending that much money with him to the Diamondbacks, you got to get something back. You don't just ask for, an 8th round starting pitcher who was injured for the last year,
34-year-old. Yeah. I mean, he's 24. He's not even a prospect. Like I thought that
Oh
this
my
where the
gosh.
Cardinals were headed, where they're gonna trade your Nolan Arenados and Sonny Grays and all that for some prospects, but we get Justin Martinez. And I'm not trying to discount his talent or what he could do, but it's like he's 24. That's not really where I would consider a prospect to be necessarily. Like I wanted like a 21-year-old, 20-year-old guy who's gonna like come up with us and then make a impact at the big league level. But like I just don't think Justin Martinez is that guy. Like for Nolan Arenado, for a Gold Glover, for a guy who we know can hit. I mean, maybe not as much last year, but like you're still getting a future Hall of Famer, and this is all we're gonna get out of it. Like I don't understand where the thought process there was. Unless Heim Bloom sees something insane out of Justin Martinez, like he's the next Randy Johnson or Nolan Arenado or Nolan Ryan or something like that, Unless he's seeing something insane and we're gonna look like idiots and he's gonna look like this Einstein. But I don't know. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, and I am a big believer in give Heim some time. All right. Like I
Mm.
do trust Heim completely, but I gotta say the optics of this move immediately, um, not great, if you're a
Yeah.
Cardinals fan. The guy slots in the bullpen. He did put up a 2.5 ERA and 72 innings for 1.9 WAR 2 seasons ago. That's great.
Yeah.
Um, is that is that really all you get for Nolan Arenado though? Like I don't know.
Right.
I really don't see it. I think for the Diamondbacks, I think it's great. I mean, if it's
Yeah.
if it's bad for the Cardinals, it's got to be good for the D-backs
Yeah.
in some facet, in some way or another. So I do really love it for them. I think they get exactly kind of who they're looking for, frankly.
I mean, they got a pretty young team too, so they get that veteran presence with Arenado, and yeah, I mean, it's just kind of hard to like really say that like this is them trying to win because their division is so stacked. Like, I just don't see them
Mhm.
making it out of the West alive. So it almost feels like a retirement home for Arenado, which sucks. I really wish that he could go and win somewhere because he's been on the Rockies, which is not great. He's been on the
Mhm.
Cardinals, which has not been great with him. So I wish he would have gone to a bigger team. And that brings up another thing. It's like, were the Diamondbacks the only people that we could have traded with? Like there was nobody else who wanted this guy. Like you're telling me you couldn't get any better package, that this is what we had to like settle for almost. I just don't understand really. Maybe it's because I'm not sitting there in the front office with these guys like looking over these trades, but I mean, I thought that there were some bigger market teams with better farm systems that would be willing to give up some better prospects. I guess not, and Arenado's now a Diamondback.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree. I think you also have to take into account that Arenado has a no trade clause.
Mhm.
He declined a trade. There was a whole trade organized to send him to Boston last year, or no, to Houston, sorry, to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Astros last year, and he vetoed it. So I think they also probably had that respect for Arenado,
yeah.
and they probably let him choose where he was going to go.
Mm.
Not just because he's got a no trade clause and they have to, but also because it's like he's such a storied guy, Hall of Famer. You got to respect him. You got to say, hey, are you all right with this? And good for him. I mean, obviously he wouldn't have waived his no trade clause. I do want to say, I almost forgot about this. Like, if you are a fan of baseball, you will love Arenado's letter to the fans. We don't necessarily have
Oh,
time
yeah.
for me to read it because we've got to get on, but Arenado's letter to the fans,
Oh, it's
objectively, even if
great.
you're not a Cardinals fan, I mean, it was so good. It was so heartfelt.
Yeah.
He talks about like everyone talks about, "Oh, I love the fans, blah blah blah. That's great. It's sentimental, whatever." He goes into like, "Look, my daughters were born at Children's Hospital and the nurse made a snide comment to me about my performance the night before." It's like, that's St. Louis. That's a baseball
Uh-huh.
town.
Yeah.
And good on him for like bringing that up. I mean, who brings that up?
Yeah.
Usually it's just a boilerplate. Oh, thank you to the fans, the coaches. I loved it. So if you're a fan of baseball, you go check that out. It'll bring a tear to your eye, man.
I kind of look at Arenado like the reverse Rendon. Like both of them had monster 2019 seasons, but the only one who actually enjoys the sport of baseball is Arenado. And
Mhm.
that letter kind of proved it. This dude loves the sport. So good for the Diamondbacks for getting this guy. Gotta love it.
Yeah, it's all love there for sure. Let's see. I don't think we've got any more big names that we got to talk about.
Oh yeah, no more
So
news.
I think we go straight to the AL and the NL East. Where do
Sure.
you want to go first, Chuck?
I say we've been in the AL East a lot. We've been in the NL East a lot too, but let's start with the AL East. I think that's a good
All
spot.
right.
I
And
don't
let me
think there's
pull up.
yeah. Pull up all that.
I'll pull up and I'll share as well here
Mhm.
my the standings. I've got them pulled up.
Perfect. I don't
If it
think
lets me
there's
share my screen. MLB standings. There we go, baby.
oh, beautiful.
So yeah, here's what I got. Is that everything? All right.
Yeah,
Here's AL. We got AL East here. I guess we'll just start with AL East.
yeah,
Oh, is
let's
that
do
what you
it.
said?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is what we've got. Um, Last season, I think these three teams at the top here, Blue Jays, Yankees, Red Sox, I think they've made huge moves.
Yeah.
And well, with the exception of the Yankees, but I can only see the Blue Jays getting better. I mean, part of me says in this division, do I really expect anyone to win more than 94 games? Um,
Mm.
so I think maybe even if we don't see records improve by that much, I think the teams have gotten better. It's just they're all going to beat up on each other.
Yeah.
And so we may not see the win totals be higher than 94, 94, 89. But I think we will see a much better division. Who's your pick out of the East, Charlie?
I'm taking the reigning champions. I'm taking the Blue Jays here. It's kind of hard to like say that they're not gonna make another run at it. The Yankees are the Yankees, but I mean, you've got a stacked rotation with the Blue Jays. You got Gossman, Cease, Bieber, Yes Savage, who last postseason really made a name for himself, and Jose
Yeah.
Barria. Like they're pretty legit. Like that's a good rotation. And then you go to their bullpen,
Mhm.
and their bullpen is just dog after dog. You got Jeff Hoffman, who is a great closer last year. Didn't have the postseason success that he might have wanted, but yeah, he can get back to it. I think that he's a guy who wants to get back to where he was. Garcia, Rogers. You can't like not talk about Alejandro Kirk. He's like I kind of look at him as like Big Dumper Jr. Like both of them kind
Okay.
of got like the same aura. Maybe not like 60 home runs as a switch hitting catcher aura, but like people forget about how good this dude is. Like he's one of the best catchers in the league, and everybody kind of glosses over him. And then you got Big Daddy Vladdy. He's a dog too. Ernie Clement was great last postseason. Anthony Santander was one of their big signings, and he wasn't great, but it kind of goes under the radar. Like that dude can hit. Andres Jimenez, dog. Addison Barger did great. Yeah, I mean, their just lineup is really good. You got Dalton Varsho, who's a great fielder, and George Springer, who put up like almost a bounce back season. I just see them like repeating their success from last year, and I hope that they do. I really like their team. Um, it's just like I don't know, with everybody in the division. I mean, the Red Sox are going to be competing, the Yankees are going to be competing, but I still think they're going to come out on top.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree there. Um, I like the defense that Andres Jimenez and Dalton Varsho bring for sure. I think you also have to take into account like who was their best starter in the postseason. It was E Savage.
Mhm.
He wasn't even up. He wasn't even up in the regular season, and if he was, it was for a game at most.
Yeah.
And so I love that. For them, it's like you're gonna have you Savage. What is he gonna do in 162 games? Assuming he doesn't get injured, what is he going to do in 32 starts?
Exactly.
What can he rack up? We've already touched on you lose Bo Bichette. We've already said that that's not as big of a loss as I would think. Um, like Okamoto, like who's he going to be when he gets to to America. So I think they've just added. They've just
Yeah.
added. I think the Yankees are gonna be who they were. I think Aaron Judge is like three guys. I think he's three guys in one. Um, I think the Red Sox, have added on too. We've already touched on that a little bit of we like what they are. So I think we've got a true three-headed monster in the AL East. I want to throw the ball now to the Orioles though,
Yeah.
because it's like,
That's an interesting
what
one.
can the Orioles do? You added Pete Alonso. How good is that? Is that infield now that you've got Pete Alonso?
It's gotta be one of the best in baseball. Like, it's
Yeah, it's got to be. And it's young. It's young too. And it's like, I will say, I think they had them and the Braves, and we'll touch on the Braves later, but them and the Braves perplexed me this year because it's like you've got a talented roster and they didn't put it together. But
Mhm.
if they do put it together, can they be up here with the Blue Jays, the Yanks, and the Sox?
Yeah.
Could they be? Could it be a four-headed monster in the AL East? So I don't know. I think the Orioles could be a dark horse
See,
going into this season.
I don't see the hype around the Orioles.
Really?
Yeah, like, their lineup is stacked. I mean, you need Jackson Holiday to be, what he's said to be. They're all young, dude. Like, it's like you're not seeing many holes. They're gonna have him for a while. They have Taylor Ward for a veteran, Tyler O'Neill, I mean, we're Cardinal fans. We know what he can do. But, like, there's just, like, one, like, it's like the elephant in the room is their rotation. It it's not great. Kinda sucks. Like, Shane Baz, I think that is, like, their best pitcher almost. Like, I think he is, he's
I think
great from the Rays. Yeah, but,
wasn't
like,
wasn't Shane Baz? Oh, they traded for Shane Baz?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's right. Okay.
But, like, other than that, like, their bullpen, I guess, is decent. They got Ryan Helsley, which he was not great last year, really. Felix Bautista, he was good a couple years ago. Andrew Kittredge, he's legit. But it's just like, I think that the biggest thing that the Orioles need is pitching,
And
and they need.
Kittredge is gone now too. Kittredge
Oh, is he?
went to the Cubs as well. Yeah, this isn't
Oh,
super up
shoot.
to date.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm looking at their depth chart right now. But, yeah, I just don't see them really being that good. The last year, I think that this is gonna be a repeat of what happened. They're not gonna have any pitching, and it's gonna screw them over, and they're gonna finish last again. I mean, I don't know about last. It's gonna be a toss between them and the Rays, but
Wow.
they're not gonna be good unless their lineup decides they're gonna score 15 runs a game. But that's just not gonna happen.
What do you see out of the Rays? I think they're definitely in the middle of a rebuild for sure.
Oh yeah, it's kind of weird for them. Like it's they're a weird roster because they
Mm.
have some guys who are there to, like, really play, like Jonathan Aranda. Like, who would have thought that he would have been like that good last year? I never would have guessed. Caminero, like, what was that, dude? The guy was an
Oh
animal.
yeah.
40 home runs last year. Um, Chandler Simpson, like, they have some young guys that are really good, but they also have some, like, older guys who just aren't that great. Like Cedric Mullins, he's all right, he's serviceable, but, like, I wouldn't say that he's like a star. And their bold or their rotation just also isn't that great either. Like, you got Shane McClanahan, and he's great, but, like, other than that, Drew Rasmussen, Steven Matz, I don't know. I think that they're kind of in, like, the Orioles situation, but a little worse. Looking at this now, I think they're gonna finish dead last, and I think the Orioles are gonna have a spot over them.
Hmm.
But, who knows? Their bullpen really is not great. So, I'm pretty confident in that pick. I think they're gonna finish last. Orioles are gonna finish a little bit above them. I think they're gonna trade, places this year.
So above them, then if you've got Rays at the bottom, then O's. Who do you have above them? The three-headed monster. How do you have that sorting out?
This is where it gets a little tricky. Um, you can't for sure say, like, this is what it's gonna be, but I think the Red Sox are gonna
Mhm.
be in that 3rd place. Um, but shoot, like, they've been spending too, and that's what's, like, hard to, like, really, like, solidify my pick for them at, 3rd. Trevor Story was great last year. He kinda, like, solidified him back into being a great player. Rafaela, he was good. Jaren Duran, people love him, and he's a great hitter. Roman Anthony, he's a top prospect. I think that he's going to really have an impact this year, like more so than last year. And then their rotation. I keep going back to rotations, and I think that's kind of the theme with this AL East. I think that's really going to be the deciding factor because we know that these lineups are good. But, like, at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to their pitching, and the Red Sox have the pitching. They got Crochet, they got Suarez now. Sonny Gray, they acquired him. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
they got like, it's just legit, you know? Um,
And I mean, if Sonny Gray is your third starter, I mean, your rotation is in good shape.
yeah,
And then who behind him? I guess like Brian Bayo.
yeah,
I don't know what to think of the Red Sox. So I think
mhm,
keeping them in third place is
yeah,
smart. But it's like I think it, can I call him an unknown because you
yeah,
lose Bregman, right? I think there's some guy like I'm a big believer in Sonny Gray. I mean, he's put up some
mhm,
amazing performances
yeah,
last year. But I mean, is he going to be the same guy he was on the Cardinals? He's getting a little older.
mhm,
Fastball velocity dropping a little bit. So I don't know. I could see Sonny Gray, as much as it pains me to say that, I could see Sonny Gray not being the same kind of guy that he was.
mhm,
So I don't know. I think the Red Sox they're just a different team. They're not the Yankees, where they're like, we saw this team, it's the exact same team. They got
yeah,
94 wins. Obviously they're not the exact same team, but it's like we haven't seen their chemistry. We haven't seen them together. So I
mhm,
think I like keeping them in the 3. I like the Yankees at 2, and I
yeah.
like the Blue Jays at 1.
No, they're definitely an unknown in my opinion. I don't know exactly where I'd rate them, but it's probably 3.
Mm,
Of course, we're going to keep the Yankees at 2, but I think we should still talk about them. The Yankees, like they're a pretty interesting team too. I think it's kind of a third place is a fight between Red Sox and the Yankees at this point. Um, Yankees, it's like I see all these names on their team, and it's like, are they household names because they're in New York, or are they household names because they're good? You know,
mhm.
like, it's a pretty legit roster, you know? I mean, Aaron Judge, like, that's my king. Like, I will defend Judge the day I die. It's the greatest right-handed hitter in baseball history. But, is he gonna be enough to, like, carry this roster to, like, where they usually go? I don't know. Giancarlo Stanton's getting old. Volpe, I don't see him being good, you know? He's had his struggles at the plate. He's had, I don't know, probably confidence issues at this point. Like, there's been like, it's people do not like this dude in New York, and it's kinda hard when you're following up, like, Derek Jeter and all that. Like, you gotta really get these, New York fans to like you. But, Ryan McMahon, he's good. He's Jazz, you know? He's a fan favorite. I kinda put him in, like, the same camp I put Elly De La Cruz. Ben
Mhm.
Rice, though, like, is Ben Rice really, like, that good? Like, I get he's good, but, like, is he legit like that? And I don't really think so. Um,
He's not gonna lead you to the promised land is what you're
yeah,
saying.
exactly. Their rotation's good though. I mean, Cam Schlittler, I kind of see a Trey Savage thing going on with him where he came into the postseason was raw.
Mhm.
Garrett Cole, like you said, he's gonna be injured, and then Rodon, I or Max Fried, the 2 out of the 3 of those guys are injured. But their rotation's good when guys are healthy, and right now guys are not healthy, so the rotation does not look that great. Um, yeah, I think they've kinda solidified their 2nd place finish to the, Blue Jays. I like the Blue Jays a lot more. But again, with Judge, who knows? That dude could decide he wants to hit 80 home runs in a season, and then they're the greatest team of all time.
Yeah, and one thing I will say is we do a lot of talking about, who'd they sign, who left, right? What does the team comp look like? But there's also something to be said for what does the hitting coach look like?
Yeah,
If if everyone on the team puts up instead of a 100 OPS plus, they all put up a 105 OPS plus. If they all take a little leap because of a coaching staff kind of
yeah,
thing, you know what I'm saying? That honestly does more than adding an impact bat, in my opinion,
exactly.
because like it's honestly so much better. So I think we do a lot of talking about this, but I think that's important to say, like,
For
oh, the
sure.
Red Sox added this person, they added this person. But can Volpe take a step forward? can Ben Rice take a step forward?
Yeah.
Will Giancarlo Stanton take a step back? That is something worth noting with everyone. That's something to keep in mind with everyone. I guess we go now to the NL East, and I'll scroll down here. Philadelphia Phillies finished with 96 wins. Damn. I didn't think they had that many. I mean, I knew they were good, but 96 wins that's a big total. The New York Mets missed the playoffs, 83 wins.
Crazy.
The Miami Marlins sucked. The Braves, good roster, but they sucked. And the Washington Nationals are going to Washington National. What do you got here, Chuck?
I think that this is going to be the Mets' year. I said that last year too, but this is it. I promise you. Juan Soto, you saw what he did last season. Dude was raking, and he's going to do it again. You know, the Phillies have done nothing but lose guys. They're not going to be at the same level that they were. Bryce Harper's only getting older, and he's still legit, but is he like as good as he once was? I don't think he's like that crazy. But no, I really think that this is the Mets' year. Their only issue again is that rotation. You got Brandon Sproat coming up, and I think that he could really bolster this rotation to being good. Nolan McLean, he was good last year. Sean Manaea, Devin Williams in the bullpen. That's a weird ad. I don't know if that hurts or like helps them, because last year he was not great. But I mean, we know like the dude has great spin rate. You know, dude put some crazy air bending looking change ups in the zone, like crazy like screwball almost. Francisco Alvarez, he was like good, like he's not anything insane. Marcus Semien, I think that they added him. This is a recent addition, but I think that he's gonna like, I don't know, it's kind of hard because he's getting older. But I mean, he's good. I think he's gonna change this team a little bit. Him and Bo Bichette, I could really see them being like a good duo. Like, I mean, you got Bo Bichette at third, and you got Marcus Semien at second, and Francisco Lindor at shortstop. If I told you that 3-4 years ago, that would have been the greatest infield in baseball. But there's one thing kind of holding me back, and that's their first base. It's like you lost Alonso, which I think was a huge misstep by the Mets organization. How are you going to pay all these other dudes and you're not going to pay the polar bear what he deserves? I don't understand that at all. You're missing out on one of the best hitters in the league, and that's going to come back to bite them when they realize what they lost. But they got Robert, they got Soto. You know, this team is legit. They're going to win the East.
Yeah, I don't mind that call. I look at the Phillies and I see pitching, and then I look at the Mets and I see hitting. But I will say, I think there's a lot of unknowns. Like the Red Sox, the Mets have added a lot of guys, and like their team is going to look entirely different, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And so I think it's underrated to say, how well will these guys mesh together? I think the Phillies starting rotation is going to be they're known, right?
Mhm.
And so yeah, I look at the Phillies lineup, and I see guys that have been good, Alec Boehm, Bryson Stott. These are guys who have been pretty good in the past. Bryce Harper, obviously.
Yeah.
Nick Castellanos. Of course, keeping Kyle Schwarber is huge. But so I really don't know what to say. I think the Phillies, if they were a stock, I'd buy the Phillies because I think they're safer. But I think the Mets, could go out and be the best team in baseball,
Yep.
And so I think that's worth mentioning as well. But I think, I mean, regardless, these are definitely going to be 1 and 2. I mean, I think we can say that almost without a doubt that these are the best 2 teams.
Unless like the apocalypse happens, if God strikes us down, these teams are going to be 1 and 2. I'm willing to stake my life on this. There's no way there's no chance ever the Marlins, Braves, or Nationals are going to finish higher than 3. But I'm looking at this Phillies lineup. And it's like, I don't know, it's kinda making me question, like, the whole Mets thing that I said earlier, but, I still think it's gonna be the Mets, but still, I mean, this Phillies team is legit. They won how many games last year? 96? Yeah, they were the second best team in baseball wins-wise. Um, they got a good bullpen, they got a good rotation, they have dudes who hit, like Bryson Stott, I feel like he's underrated. Trey Turner, he's kinda underrated too almost, like, it's like, how are you, like, not talking about this guy? He's one of the better hitters in baseball, and he can run. Brandon Marsh is good, and you got Kyle Schwarber who you could make an argument should have won the MVP last year. Like, there was definitely an argument to be made. I don't think he deserved,
Mhm.
it was out there. Adolis Garcia, like, that's a name that, like, people don't really bring up as, like, a good addition to their team, but he's gonna make an impact. I think that their lineup's gonna be good. They're gonna get a wild card. I think Mets are gonna win it, but Phillies are gonna get the wild card over all these other wild card competing teams, and then the rest of the NL East bottom feeders will do what they usually do. They'll go like below 500 and rebuild or whatever the hell they're doing. But no, I like the Phillies team. I like the Mets team.
I like both those teams. I think that's a good call. I want to throw some love to the Braves though. Spencer Strider, who was out, like he could be a Cy Young candidate. I mean,
Yeah.
his stuff is elite. Chris Sale, who was amazing, right? Spencer Swellenbach is young and pretty good. Reynaldo Lopez, old. Grant Holmes, bad. But but like Razel Iglesias, as a closer, all you need are like three guys, you know, in the in the bullpen to take a step up, and you've got a good
Yeah.
bullpen. But I'm looking at this lineup, and you add Haesung Kim.
Mhm.
um, let's see, Ozzy Albies, is still there
Mhm.
at second base, but I think he's currently injured. So he'll start the season at least on the injured list. Austin Riley, who took a step back, but it's like we've seen what he can do,
Yeah.
right? Orlando Arcia, um, who, like, I don't know. I mean, he's pretty old, right? I think he's in. Oh, he's sorry. He left the team. It's Haesung. Yeah, so Haesung Kim, who's still young and has some potential, um, at short. So I don't know. Like I think that the Braves could put it together.
Mhm.
Um, I could definitely see it because I mean they were a great team just last season and they Orioles themselves, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and so I still think the pieces are there for the Braves. I think it's possible that they figure it out. They kind of did figure it out, towards the back half of the season, um, I believe. Right. I mean, they only won 76 games, so they finished well below 500, but
Yeah.
I think anything's possible for them. Um, I think the Marlins suck.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Kyle Stowers and who else? Um, I think the Nationals are rebuilding, and so I think you can kind of automatically count them out. But I think
Yeah.
there's two and a half teams, with the Braves being the half, that can compete in the NL East, and then I think there's the Marlins and the Nationals.
Going back to the Braves a little bit, Austin Riley, I think that is like a very underrated guy to talk about.
Yeah.
He's a dark horse MVP candidate. Like I really think that he has like MVP potential. If he gets back to playing 160 games like he did from 2021 to 2023, like dude, he could win the MVP. Obviously last year and the year before that he didn't do great, but like he had above a 6 WAR in 3 straight seasons from 21 to 23. Like we know the dude can hit. Um I like him a lot, and, like, looking at this Braves team, like, it's really not that bad. They have a rookie of the year with Drake Baldwin, Sean Murphy, like, that's gotta be one of the best catching, like, duos in the league. Um, it's just I don't know. I have a hard time saying that they're gonna be good. It's like they need to prove it to me, and I don't know if they will. I don't really think they will. Michael Harris II, like, he's not he was good. I mean, he's another rookie of the year guy, but, like, I just don't see him being, like, that good. Acuna, I mean, if he can stay healthy, he's gonna be a force, but I don't know, kinda hard to rate them. if we're talking about the Nationals, though, Nationals, I think they're not going to be good this year. I don't think, but you give them a couple of years, and they're going to be up there, and they're going to be competing for the division. They have so many good young prospects. You got James Wood, who was like one of the best hitters in baseball last year. Dude's an animal. Um, Dylan Cruz, one of LSU guy. We know what he can do back in college. The only issue is like putting it together. He hasn't really proved himself in the major league, but I think he can. It's not like he's like done, dude. I mean, he can rake. Robert Hassel III. I mean, this is just top prospect after top prospect that you're looking
Mhm.
at, and it's all in their like starting lineup. And I think their farm system is still pretty good too. Mackenzie Gore, that's their ace right now, and he was great last year. So I think the Nationals aren't going to be good this year, but give them some time, and they'll get back up there.
Yeah, after looking at him, I think I owe him a bit of an apology. I don't want to give him too much credit because Paul DeYoung is their third baseman, or was. So, that's all I need to say about that. But I will say, like, I'm looking at this lineup, CJ Abrams, great young guy. James Wood,
Yeah.
great young guy. Dylan Cruz, figure it out, but you could be like an MVP in 2 years. I mean, like that was the kind of stuff we have seen out of Dylan Cruz, the potential. And there's so many guys that you can harp on potential about that haven't panned out. So you don't want to, count your chickens before they've hatched. But they have a real ace in Mackenzie Gore. In the rotation, like Michael Soroka and not much more. Michael Soroka, who was like mediocre. So I don't know. Like I think I owe him a bit of an apology.
Mhm.
But also, like, yeah, I see him winning more than 66 games.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
they
sure.
were one of the worst teams in baseball last year. I mean, they were a little better than the White Sox and a
Mhm.
lot better than the Rockies. But
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of people. I think there are college teams that are better than the Rockies.
Yeah.
That's facetious, obviously. I think that would be a little immature to say, but I see the Nationals being better. Do I see them competing in the NL East? No.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in the same boat there. And then if we're looking at what else we even need to go over still, the Marlins, they finished
Yeah,
third
we
last,
owe it to the Marlins to talk about them for sure.
which it's such a weird third place finish. That's why I think the NL East is like it has to be the weirdest division in baseball. I can't lie, because it's just like you have two teams at the top who you know are going to win it, and then you have just like whatever at the bottom, and it's like when I'm looking at a third place team, I don't think of like the Marlins. I think of like the Cincinnati Reds who made the wild card last year. Like the
Mhm.
Marlins, like they're just not good. Like they're not a third place team. They have pitching, I guess, if Sandy Alcantara can like be that guy again. Yuri Perez, he's good. Max Meyer, he's good. I mean, it's just like, is this really a third place team? I feel like I'm like tripping here. Like, who did they really have?
Yeah,
Ramirez, sure, he was good, but like, it's just
I
I
I
don't.
look at the Marlins and my first immediate thought is Kyle Stowers. He
Yeah,
was dude, he was damn good.
he
He
was
was
legit.
damn good.
He was raw.
But like beyond that, I think obviously Owen Casey, who they got in the Edward Cabrera
Yeah.
trade, could be very good. And I think he had a cup of coffee in the
Mm,
MLB and was decent. I think their shortstop Xavier Edwards is pretty underrated. I think
yeah.
Jesus Sanchez can hit some home runs, but large picture, um, you don't have any starters that are good. Sandy Alcantara is like old as shit.
Yeah.
Um, and you don't have a bullpen, and so you're not going to win like that. Like
Yeah.
it is as simple as that. Connor Norby at third base, was he not an Oriole? Am I incorrect? Was he
I
not
feel like it
was
was.
he
That
not an
sounds
Oriole? He was an Oriole.
yeah.
Um, and so I don't know. Like they have some young hitters, but it's so hard to build a starting rotation. I mean, we're both Cardinals fans. Ask us, right? It
Yeah.
is hard, but if you don't have a starting rotation, you're gonna win, and they don't have
Mhm.
one. So
Yeah.
that's all I have to say about that. And I'm happy to close it out here with our final rankings of the NL East, if you
Yeah,
are.
for sure. For me, I'm taking Mets 1, Phillies 2, Braves 3, Nationals 4, Marlins 5. I think that is a pretty fair ranking. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thank you everybody for tuning in. We're super happy. Let us know what you think in the comments. Huge thanks to our editor Brooke and to Eric helping us out. Go follow us. All right, go subscribe to Sandman Sports on YouTube. Go listen to on Spotify. Go to the film room on the website. Got a little bit of a makeover. We've got an app. I mean, come on, Chuck, we're official.
Gotta love it.
So yeah, but thank you everyone else. You know, Chuck, if you've got anything else to say, we're scooting up on an hour. Great episode.
Great episode. Yeah, thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all being here. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Love you guys.